Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk a little bit about the economy, things that are going on with crypto, a little bit of everything. So let's get started. In parallel, BlackRock's Build Fund, officially known as the BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, is a fund of tokenized assets on the Ethereum network and redirected through Circle. Backed 100% by US Treasury bills, repurchase agreements, and cash. Represented by the Build token on the Ethereum blockchain, with greater transparency and accessibility for investors. Designed to provide institutional liquidity, it offers yield paid daily through blockchain. Now, I don't understand why you would back this by US Treasury bills, but whatever. I still don't think that BlackRock's stablecoin is going to gain more momentum than Ripple's RLUSD. I just think Ripple's RLUSD is going to emerge as a much better stablecoin going forward. And why would you launch it on the Ethereum network when there's so many better networks out there? I just didn't understand the idea of this. Then Sailor thinks you are a paranoid crypto anarchist if you hold your own keys and don't trust the government. Take a listen.
If there is more Bitcoins held with these third-party custodians, what risk does that pose, having greater supply held by fewer large institutions? Does that increase the risk of seizure and confiscation like we've seen with gold? And is that not exactly what Bitcoiners don't want to happen?
No, I think it's the opposite. I think that when the Bitcoin is held by a bunch of crypto anarchists who aren't regulated entities, who don't acknowledge government or don't acknowledge taxes or don't acknowledge reporting requirements, that increases the risk of seizure. You have an OG crypto community that's very hardcore about it, but if you look at where all the money is, 99.9% of the money is actually in the traditional economy.
If you consider the...
Here's the way I look at this. Anybody who thinks it's a good idea to store your crypto on the exchange has something to gain from it. There's no reason anyone in crypto should ever tell you to store your crypto on exchanges, because if it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. And most of the people got into Bitcoin because they don't trust the government. They want to break away from the government establishment. And I think Michael Saylor is part of that establishment by saying the things he's saying. I honestly, if I was a Bitcoiner, anybody holding crypto for that matter, should definitely get their crypto off the exchanges and store their crypto in a cold wallet. That's just my opinion. Minneapolis Fed joins ECB with Bitcoin attack. New paper claims governments can run permanent deficits if consumers don't notice and adapt new money like Bitcoin. Fantasizes about legal prohibition and extra taxes on Bitcoin to ensure government debt remains only risk-free security. Like I said, as we get closer to the new financial system, eventually they are going to start to crack down on Bitcoin. And we're seeing it come out of the ECB. Look at what's going on with Italy, raising the capital gains on Bitcoin and crypto. Same thing is going to happen here in the United States. And people said, well, I could just transact. They won't even know the transactions are happening. Listen, they know every single transaction that happens with Bitcoin. And it looks like they're now going to tax it even harder. And eventually, I think they are going to eventually prohibit Bitcoin inside the United States. They're going to tie it to Chinese centralization next. Wait and see. And I don't think that's a good idea, though, either. I just want to put that out there. You know, what the government's doing with Bitcoin, I don't like the idea of it. If people made money in Bitcoin, then so be it. If people want to continue holding Bitcoin, then so be it. But I understand why they're doing this. They're not going to have any competition to a CBDC. Transact discloses data breach affecting over 57,000 users. Stormus ransomware gang claims responsibility. So Transact, a Miami-based fiat-to-crypto payment gateway used by MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Coinbase, Ledger, among other blockchain platforms, disclosed on Monday it suffered a data breach affecting 1.14% of its users. We have recently identified that an attacker gained unauthorized access to one of our employees' laptop through a sophisticated phishing attack. Using the compromised credentials, the attacker was able to log into the system of a third-party KYC vendor that we use for documented scanning and verification services, the company explained in a blog post. The attacker reportedly gained access to sensitive personal data, including names and other personal identifiable information. However, Transact, which operates a non-custodial on-ramp, can confirm that no assets or financially sensitive data like social security numbers or credit card details was compromised. Now, I want you to take a look at something. This happened in July, and we're finding out about it now. And this is also why I tell you, get your crypto off the exchanges. No exchange is safe, not 100% anyway. It's better to keep hold of your own crypto. You have your keys. It's your crypto. Get it off the exchanges. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of charts that show you that next year, most likely, we will be in a recession because everything we're seeing now looks a lot like 2007. Corporate insiders are dumping shares at the fastest pace in more than 3 years. You see them all dumping shares, one after another. And this seems like it's a trend now. They know something big is coming. FDIC warns that 66 banks face the possibility of insolvency after being added to its problem list. So the FDIC knows that the banks are facing possible insolvency. And the FDIC cannot bail you out if a handful of banks go down all at once. They just don't have enough money to back your money. And that's why I said no bank is safe right now either. That banking crisis is still coming. Everyone's warning of it happening. Most likely, we are going to see it start right after the election. Warren Buffett insider trading alert. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway just bought another $42.1 million worth of Sirius shares. That's Sirius XM Radio. What does Warren Buffett know that we don't know? Is XM Radio going to take off over the coming months? I don't even know anybody that listens to the radio anymore. 43% of Russell 2000 companies now have negative earnings. This number is up more than 2x since 2006 and is higher than even the peak of the 2008 financial crisis. This is not sustainable. They all are warning you of what's coming. Now, in that video yesterday, I said the financial freeze is also coming. Is it going to happen during a financial crisis that's going to hit in 2025? A lot of people are predicting that as well. They're saying that if things get too bad, they're just going to freeze the system. Then we'll go over to a new system. A recent report from the World Gold Council reveals that the Brics nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, collectively hold over 20% of the world's gold reserves. And, you know, a lot of people are also saying that we are going to see a massive crash of the US dollar once the Brics decide to go with a gold-backed system. And I also think that is coming as well. Then there's this, the US debt sitting at $35.8 trillion. One question looms large. How can it be repaid? As interest costs spiral out of control, there's a real risk that the dollar could lose value, threatening its global dominance. For now, what props up the economy is cheap debt and liquidity flooding the system. But what happens when the taps are turned off is anyone's guess. Collapse or perhaps some global event will force rates even lower just to keep debt repayments within reach. We're facing an unprecedented economic challenge, and with each passing week, the spiral deepens. Global dominance, that could soon be up for grabs as well. When they start addressing the debt is when you need to start to worry. Because up until now, nobody really talks about the debt, and they keep adding to it. They keep saying, we don't have money for this, we don't have money for that, but yet we're doing this as well. Zelensky said the U.S. will provide $800 million of military support to Ukraine to finance the production of drones as the country seeks to bolster its defense capabilities. So we don't have any money to help the people in North Carolina or Florida, but we have money to once again send to Ukraine. I'm telling you, Ukraine is a massive money laundering operation. That's what's going on. And look at who got the government contracts to rebuild Ukraine. BlackRock and JP Morgan. It's all one big charade. And they all know that the US dollar is eventually going down. They know that crash is absolutely coming. The reason they're not so concerned about the debt right now is because they know a reset is coming. And I had to share this with all of you. IRS used AI to spy on American citizens. Take a listen.
And what we have learned is that the IRS, in fact, has been using AI to access bank accounts of American citizens without any kind of a search warrant or even without any specific claim that they have committed a crime. So this was something that was discovered by an undercover journalist, and what they found is that the IRS has claimed that they have access to every single person's bank account. This person also indicated that they've been working with the Department of Justice and that they have absolutely no problem whatsoever going after the little guy to make sure that they are paying their taxes. This is such a blatant violation of the Fourth Amendment that Jim Jordan and I sent a letter to the IRS demanding that they provide additional information about what they are doing with AI and what they are doing to protect the civil rights of American citizens.
So what do you think about that? The IRS using AI to look inside of your bank account. And we knew this was happening. I think they addressed this a couple months ago, but nothing has happened since. And I don't see anything happening going forward. Because what's going on is you have all these politicians talking, but no action is taking place. Same thing happened with Ripple versus SEC. They have Gary Gensler sitting there in front of Congress. Everybody's yelling at him. But that's it. He gets yelled at, and then he goes back to the SEC and continues to crack down on crypto. But, you know, I always looked at this as them counting what people hold. The good thing is when they look in my bank account, there's not much there because all my money is stored in crypto. And I know most of you do the same thing because the bank is never going to make you rich. With crypto, at least at some point, crypto's going to take off and you are going to make a shit ton of money. And all we're waiting for is it to happen. It's definitely coming. The next couple months are going to start the exciting times. 2025, when things are falling apart, I expect crypto to have a massive, massive blow off top at the same time. But until it happens, you got to stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.